Hey everyone, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but I write a column every week that's posted on the NPFL website, along with shared on their social media. I share it some on mine, but I don't do a real good job at sharing it. I'm going to try to do better at that. But I've been doing this now for 60 weeks. A lot of what I've wrote about is life on the road, things that happened to us, like when we broke down and we had a truck transmission go out and bought a new truck on the way to Florida last year, all kinds of crazy things. That's what I've been writing about. But I'm going to change it up a little bit from here on out. When I can, I'm going to do some tips and techniques, and I'm going to put videos with the content online. And I'm going to start it this week with a 4-part series on how to pick the right gear. This week will be your what baits to pick. Next week will be your rods. The next will be your reels. The last will be what line to pick. Because sometimes it's overwhelming when you've got everything. So, for me, we have to come up with a trip so we know what we're picking for. So I've got a Arkansas River trip coming up here in a few days. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a fall fishing trip on the Arkansas River. This is how I pick what baits I'm going to use. So when everything's on the front deck and you can have stuff strode everywhere, it's just overwhelming. So I always try to figure out what baits I'm going to use first and get them laid out, and then I worry about the rods and reels. So Arkansas River should be lower 70s, upper 60s in the water temperature right now. There's a cold front going on. The air temps are 40s and 70s, and there was a pretty major rain event over the weekend. I hadn't been there in a few weeks. I don't really know. I expect the water to be dirty to muddy, and I expect there to be some current. So what I think I'm going to do is fish willow grass on the banks and fish current breaks on rock jetties, or what some people call dikes or wing dams. I call them jetties. The current breaks on those jetties. So here's what I did. I got to thinking, what would I use to fish that condition? First off, what I use all the time, that I have everywhere I go, is a Brazalo finesse jig. This one's green pumpkin, and it's got a Zoom speed crawl trailer on it. And man, I use it everywhere I go. Like, I've always got this. I've got more confidence in that little bait than anything else. And I would use it to pitch in the grass, and I'd also throw it on the current breaks on the rocks. Then, second would probably be a square bill. This is an arc square bill. It's small. The bait on the river right now is going to be small for the most part. And be able to hit those current breaks on those jetties, catch some fish. So I'll be throwing a square bill. Also throwing a spinner bait a bunch, especially if the wind picks up. It's a Brazalo 501 blade spinner bait. Got that orange kicker. I like it in the dirtier water. If you saw in my videos from Eufaula in Oklahoma earlier this year, I was catching them on this spinner bait quite a bit. I'll be throwing that on the river, and I'll be throwing a walking bait. In the fall, you've always got to have a walking bait. Those fish are feeding on shad. I'll be throwing it across a few little current breaks where fish stack up. But then again, they could come up schooling anywhere. And you want that walking bait. This is an arc walking bait. It's got that chartreuse on the belly for a little bit dirtier water. It's got that feather. They can see a little better. It's loud. But you always, anywhere you go in the fall, you want to have a walking bait. That way you can throw at those schoolers when they come up. Last but not least, if it gets really tough, I've got the old Brazalo SRS shaky head with a Zoom trick worm on there. Old school, gets a lot of bites. My wife's actually fishing a tournament with me this weekend. I expect she'll throw that the majority of the time we're there. She'll get bites all day. She'll catch fish. They're easy to hook, easy for somebody that doesn't fish a lot. But those are the 5 baits, and that's kind of how I went about getting to those baits. How I figured out, I will need a crankbait in the current because it's dirty water, a jig in the grass, spinnerbait in the grass. That's the kind of things I think about. I get those baits picked up first and I get them out. Then I worry about what rods and reels I'm going to put them on. Check back next week and we'll figure out what action rods I need for each of these baits.